guys! Mary here and welcome to a new edition of Books and Cookies Book Talk. Today we are discussing Queen of Shadows by Sarah J Maas. This is the fourth book in the Throne of Glass series. Because it's the fourth book, I will not be able to keep this book talk spoiler free. I will give a warning before the actual spoilers begin, and so that if you guys have not read this yet, you will be able to stop the video and maybe come back to it after you've read the book. Basically, what you guys need to know is that you need to read the series because it's absolutely fantastic. My advice would be that before you get into Queen of Shadows, you read the 5 novellas that are in The Assassin's Blade, which are set before the events of Throne of Glass, because there are a lot of issues and events that take place in the novellas that are addressed in this book. So you will want to know what happens there, because it will make the impact that this book has a lot more powerful. The only non-spoiler thing that I can say is that you guys need to pick up the series because it has grown so much in the past years. Since the first book came out, it's just shown how much Sarah has grown as a writer. Comparing the first book with this one, there's absolutely no contest to her abilities as a wonderful, wonderful writer. So without further ado, you have been warned, spoilers ahead. Okay, so this book. I have a lot of feelings that have just blossomed into me while I was reading this book. I debated giving it 4 or 5 stars. I'm still undecided over the fact that I gave it 5 stars. Because a lot of shit went down and we have to talk about it. I was not completely content with where this book went and how everything was done. But let's take it one thing at a time, okay? We are effectively no longer referring to Celaena as Celaena. She's now Aelin, Ashriver Galathinius, Queen of Terrasen. She's coming back to Rifthold to just sort through all the shit that she left behind when she went away. My first and most important issue that I have with this book is Chaol's characterizations. You have these two people who were Chaol and Celaena, and they were in love, and they were still in love at the moment when she left for Wendlyn. But when she comes back, it's like everything has been erased and Chaol is a completely different person. He's so out of character for 3/3 of this book. It was just so heartbreaking to read about it. I ship them so much. I ship Chaolena with all my heart. I still hold on to maybe the possibility that something might happen, although I logically know that they're over. But it killed me to see Chaol as such a bitter man. He was an asshole, and I just could not understand the reasoning behind him, because he is not that person. Yes, he's done shit. Aelin has done shit. But the way that Sarah has just drawn him in this book, it broke my heart. It makes no sense for him to act like this at all. And I just saw her coming and just throwing all this blame on him, and he has a lot of guilt and a lot of hatred towards himself that he has to work through, especially because he blames himself for what happened to Dorian. But it made no sense. He's so out of character. I am just heartbroken for him. This is the only explanation that I have for what went down with his character. I think Sarah just decided that Chaol and Celaena should no longer be a couple the moment that Rowan entered the building. And she decided, and then she just had to make this cut in their relationship so brutal and so sudden that everyone just had to buy that they're no longer an item. And I think this is the only way that she thought that she could do it. It got better towards the end for him, but I just felt this. He's no longer a main character in this book. Like, this is the feeling that I had. So in the beginning we had Dorian, we had Celaena, and we had Chaol. And he's no longer in the spotlight, and that makes me a bit sad and angry because I had so much hope for him, and he has undergone maybe the biggest character development aside with Selena up to Heir of Fire, but this book was just a humongous setback for him. It just was just like crap after crap after crap for him, and I hate that this happened to him. The other thing that really annoyed me was Aelin and Rowan's romance. I have been an advocate since Heir of Fire that I absolutely adore the friendship that Rowan had with Aelin, and I shipped them as a bromance, strictly as a friendship, because I saw him as the first real friend that she had. And beginning with Queen of Shadows, like in the beginning, we just had all these hints that she missed him, that she needed him, that there was something more there, and I knew that it would happen, but I did not expect it to happen so suddenly. So you go from Heir of Fire, where you see all these feelings that are a friendship. It was repeatedly stated in Heir of Fire that they felt no need to pursue a romantic relationship. You jump to Queen of Shadows, and you suddenly, when Rowan appears in the building, you suddenly have them itching to jump each other's bones, and I felt it really unrealistic and really rushed. Had she built their romantic relationship a little slower, I would have been a lot more on board with it. But seeing as it was done, it felt very insta love, which I hate as a trope in books. And it made me angry, and I felt that this entire book was just a song for Aelin and Rowan's romantic relationship. Also, something that I just like it. Aelin needs to be paired up with every male that she finds. So it was Sam in The Assassin's Blade, it was Dorian in Throne of Glass, it was Chaol in Crown of Midnight, and then we have Queen of Shadows where she pairs up with Rowan. And although the relationship makes sense, so I ship them. Like, I understand why it was done, and it makes sense because they're just so in sync with each other. I would have preferred it more had it been done in a slower, more natural pace. Moving on from ships and all that, because I hated that sometimes this fandom just comes down to shipping, and that's something that we just have to stop doing, because there's a lot more to this book and the series than the ships and who we ship the main character with. So I will move on to the things that I absolutely adored in this book, and there have been many. First off, I am loving the witch arc. Manon and her 13 and Asterin and everyone, Jesus Christ, oh my god, I loved those parts. Those parts saved this book for me. Just seeing Manon doing her shit and just starting to develop these feelings which she just does not understand, and then we have her saving a lead. And we have her, oh my god, that scene where she fights Aelin, that was the best part of this book. It was hands down the best scene of this book. Maybe one of the best scenes of the entire series. It was just epic and so well made, and it was awesome to see two girls fight each other like this. The second thing that I absolutely adored was Aelin and Lysandra's friendship. So we know Lysandra, we've seen her in The Assassin's Blade, but now she comes into this story and she becomes one of the main characters in this book, and she is epic. Epic. I love seeing female friendships, genuine female friendships in books. And there are so few of them out there that the relationship that develops between Aelin and Lysandra is absolutely astonishing, and I love it. I love the support that they have for each other. I love that they understand each other, that they respect each other, and just help each other through so many things. And it just warmed my heart. I loved it so much. And Lysandra coming at the end and embracing her shape-shifting abilities and just saving the boys, you know, she goes and saves the boys. She saves a full-fledged Fae warrior that's like super famous in his 300 years of existence, and a demi-fae that is Aryan, and they were just in so much shit, and Lysandra just comes out of nowhere and she saves them, and it was epic. I loved it so much. Moving on to Aelin and Aedion, I loved how she rescued him. That was again one of the best scenes in this book. We had the dancers with the roses, and which was actually explosive powder, and just shit went down, and it was so good. And seeing, I don't know, the moment that in which they just sat down and just talked to each other and told each other everything, it was so sweet. It was moving, heartbreaking to see them finally reunited as a family. And this is coming from someone who hated Aedion's guts in Heir of Fire. I just thought he was shady as fuck. I did not trust one hair of that man's body. No, but my suspicions were just unfounded, because you see them in Queen of Shadows, they're just epic, and I love them so much. And I hated that almost after they got reunited, Rowan appeared, and just everything shifted towards Aelin and Rowan, and it just irked me, man. They spent 10 years apart. I wish there was more that we could see from them just being reunited and just developing a bond and a relationship. And I hated that Rowan came in and kind of stole that moment for them. All the plot twists had me gasping. I scared my dog several times because she was sitting with me while I was reading, and I was just, oh my god, no, oh my god. And I was texting Allison and I was just feeding her my reactions. The last 30% of this book made up for everything, every shitty thing that happened in the beginning. I hated this book for about 100 to 100 pages when I started it, but the end, everything that happened, all the plot twists with the king and the Val princess and the word keys and Alir and Manon and the witchlings and everything, Jesus, and oh god, even if you do not enjoy this book for maybe more than half of it, the ending makes up for everything. The last 30% of this book made me give it 5 stars instead of 3 or 4. It's so well executed. It's probably some of the best writing that Sarah has ever written. I could talk a lot more about this. I just needed to get these feelings out because I knew I could not write them. As I write most of my reviews, I knew that I had to have a book talk for this. It's worth it. It's maybe not the best book in the series for me. That remains Heir of Fire. I think it's the best book in the series so far. It remains the best book in the series so far for me. But it holds its own. I would love to hear your thoughts about this. Although I've read a ton of reviews, I watched a lot of book talks about this, but I would love it if you guys would comment and tell me your opinion of this book. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Remember, books for the soul, cookies for the tummy. Bye everyone!